Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
it, you know I be on the what? Yeah. You know I be on the what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the what? Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that.
In a world where creatures of myth and legend exist, a covert task force is charged with keeping humanity safe from supernatural threats. And when young Nancy Moon stumbles into the eternal battle between good and evil, she finds... Oh my god, will you shut up? What's happening? Agent Beckett here. Aren't you tired of stuff like that? Want something different? Roll the tape. Whoops. Sorry about that. That's a song I'm writing for my ex. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Alrighty. Welcome to the world of the mythicals. We have it all. Monsters. Magic. Government agents. He's the strong silent type. This guy. Ugh, gross, dude. Get some kind of cream or something. Lots of 90s style action. Pew pew pew. And that strong female lead alluded to earlier. Not to mention a dashing field commander with a great sense of fashion. Look at those glasses. South River Studios presents The Mythicals, Issue 1. Buy it, if you dare. Ugh, will you can it already? How'd you get free? Now beat it before I lose my cool. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. Like right now.
Sign up today on Indiegogo.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked border patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marco's attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
I'm Terry Huddleston, and you're watching the Madness Common Network.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, we were offline for a few weeks. Caught COVID, plus some other family issues. That was fun. But we are back.
Hey guys, what's up?
So now that we're back and everything's good and solid, let's see. We got some great news to tell y'all, which is kind of cool. Christie and I have decided we are going to make a publishing company that specializes in doing like manga style graphic novels. We can't tell you too much right now because we're still working on it. We're going to be working on it on Friday primarily. And I know some of y'all that watch this are probably thinking, why not just do a normal graphic novel company? And the short answer is, it's cheaper to make manga, and it's faster, and there's the consumers want it, so that's what we're doing. I mean, I went into Barnes & Noble today, and there was like a whole bunch of manga comics on the back wall, like at least 10 shelves, and then the Marvel DC Image stuff was like one bookshelf. So we're just essentially going where the money is, if that makes sense. So
sorry, like the pregnant Joker thing was annoying to me. I'm like, okay, if this is a serious fucking story, fuck you guys. Like, if it's a funny story, okay, but I'm not trying to diss on people just because they're different or they want to do something different, but sometimes I've read shit, I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, that's not the reason why, but I wrote that little blurb probably on my Facebook, and you guys can all look at my Facebook because it's public. I just wrote, like, okay, when you write a story or something or create something, it's like a baby. Let it be what it's going to be. Don't write this fucking stupid ass cardboard cutout because it pisses me off. It's just me as being a creative. And again, I'm not trying to say that everything I do is fucking golden. And I'm not saying you have to write every deep thing. Like, I like this film called Nobody, and in some ways it's deeper than what people make it out to be. But like, if you're really not, I came in tiring F-bombs. Rosetta, she's cool. She's been begging me to be on the show again and again. I'm like, damn it, I'm like off doing something shit. So, and like attach myself to the subscriber. I'm to her channel. She's graciously let me use her channel. I just forgot about it because we've been working on this. So yeah, so it's like I just got tired of fucking people shitting out things. Like, Nobody's a good story, and on the surface, it just is a fun movie. That's it. It's just a fun movie. But like, when you look at it, you think of Odysseus. You think of like a man like it's actually a really cool midlife crisis action movie. It goes really well.
Oh yeah, and you know what makes me love that movie too is it doesn't, like, it knows it's a film for fun's sake. Like, there's not too many films that come out these days that just where people just want you to like sit down and enjoy it. There's always some hidden message or meaning, but like, and that gets browbeat into you. Like, on the surface, you don't see the deep meaning until you really connect it in Nobody. But it knows what it is, and it doesn't try to like politicalize you in any way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, that happens in a lot of movies today, and it bugs the hell out of me because I love films and I love comic books. The
thing is that it's not that you can't be political.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people do it badly.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
They do it very badly. Like, as I said, it's like if you argue, well, comics are supposed to be political. Well, no, you see a lot of the fucking World War II ones that was propaganda, but they at least wrote a story well. They wrote a story. They write stories like shit, like lately. So sorry, when they want to put a high political point, it's not done well. It's just like, here's my political point. You're an asshole if you don't like it. I'm like, okay. I don't care.
No, and I completely agree with you because like I bought the Batman Damned from Brian Azzarello. Him and his artist did a great job with the graphic novel Joker, and that read well. Things were creepy, and you realize how dark the Joker can be. And then laugh at the dark humorous jokes he does and make you feel guilty for laughing at them because it's just a twisted sense of humor. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna read Batman Damned, and because the art it's the same team. The story was super convoluted, man, super convoluted, and then like the lettering was so bad it hurt your eyes. Like, when you read it, it was just like. It was straining my eyes, and it hurt so bad. And then the Batman Damned, I'll give it to you so you can check it out. I mean, if you get the book just for the pretty pictures, get it. Like the art and the panel layouts are absolutely beautiful, and the religious iconography in certain pages really are creepy and like a good horror comic should be. Unfortunately, like the lettering just kills it. It reminds me a lot of Batman Arkham Asylum, a serious place on a serious Earth. It like beautiful art, but you could barely read it because the lettering was so bad. You know what I mean? It was all over the place. You know. Yeah. And it's not to shit on Grant Morrison because I'm a huge Grant Morrison fan, but even I have to admit, like, that book was nothing but beautiful art because the lettering was so bad.
That's the thing is, like, with lettering, you kind of have to look at lettering as part of the artwork. You really do. That's like what Sandman, some of the issues that I read. I'm not saying I'm a super Sandman fan. I've read every single fucking issue because I didn't. But the issues that I've read, like they made Delirium, her word bubbles, like were fucking awesome. They fit her. Mm-hmm. There were like a lot of other ones too. But I mean, that's amazing. That fucking annoys me that people just like.
I think that's stupid. Why? Yeah, I think that's why I fell in love with the Sandman because every character had their own speech bubble and it fit them, right? And together it looked like the same art. You know what I mean? Like some of these new graphic novels that have recently come out, it's just bad lettering, man. Like I know a lot of people get onto Robert Kirkman because all of his letter and speech bubbles and action things are all the same lettering, but honestly, I that's how you could tell it's a Robert Kirkman book because he letters all of his books the same way, and it's good branding. I can understand what the story is. I can understand what the action beats are through the lettering, and it always fits. Versus Batman Damned in Arkham Asylum, Serious Places, Serious Earth, like the lettering was just so bad, so bad. And lately, I've noticed a lot of these. Upcomers coming in doing Batman with like the more horror elements of Batman. Like the lettering is just it hurts your eyes, man. I even checked. I had to stop reading Batman Heavy Metal because it was like the lettering was just hurting my eyes because it just didn't fit the artwork. It just wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it was like my eyes were fighting over which art should be more important, the lettering or the image. And when you start getting that, it's not good. So I mean I don't know, maybe I don't understand Gothic art like they're putting in these Batman books right now, but it hurts my eyes to read them. And it sucks too because I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yeah, I like Batman to a point, like I just like the new Joker. I looked at that. I'm like, oh, this story is going to be bad, isn't it? And people go like, that's really going to be terrible, Christie. You fucking like, okay, you already said he's getting pregnant. Is this going to be funny? Is this going to be entertaining? Or is this going to be D? Probably going to be none of these. I don't need to read it right now. I've gotten to be the dorky bitch of comics, I think. Like, if I don't like it, I just won't like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I love comic books, and I will always read them. And I always want to be a part of the comic book community because I think our community is awesome. But, like, when it comes to, like, certain storylines, it's, like I always tell people, like, I can't defend every comic out there. Like, the Joker becoming pregnant is kind of, like, stupid in my idea. Because honestly, I think they're purposely doing it just for shock value. Just being honest. I don't think they really care. Because like, how do you one up what Scott Snyder did in Batman? Like, the Joker got his face cut off, and then he sewed it back on. Like, that was crazy. Seeing him look like that was like super creepy, and it was a good storyline because I think it was like Pigman cut his face off, and then he sewed it on.
There's Jigsaw who got all cut up and then they had to sew his face back on. There's like iterations of that.
Yeah, like and I think the best Scott Snyder run, Death of the Family, where the Joker was trying to kill all of Batman's family. That storyline was amazing. It was just wonderful. But what's crazy to me is they're trying to one up that by doing something that doesn't logically make sense for the character, like putting your political stuff aside, right? Whatever your political belief is, but like, what is the general point of him being pregnant? Like, that doesn't make sense. As the Joker is a maniacal bastard who is constantly keeping Gotham in fear, because by all means he should be his own horror movie icon. Like, that's what the Joker is. So when you look at the character, like, what purpose does it serve his development in a story to be pregnant? That doesn't make sense to me.
I think Zatanna was pregnant, but I don't know how the fuck she did it. I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
People have been doing that fucking storyline so many times. I'm like, of just some sort. I'm like, I'm all for gender bending. I have no problem with it. I just get kind of annoyed because people don't do it well anymore.
Well, like when they gender swapped him in the Flashpoint Batman, when Thomas Wayne became the Batman and he started carrying guns, and his mom became the Joker. Like, that made sense. That was good storytelling. That was fantastic. You know what I mean? Or like, the only saving grace in Batman Damned was Harley Quinn. After the Joker was supposedly dead, she becomes the new Joker because, it was still around the time where she was having that love-hate relationship with him. So her mind mentally snapped and she becomes the new Joker as a female. Like, that, I can understand those plot points. Gender bending to that degree, but when we're talking about because we're talking about a character that is known to drive people insane and turn them into him. Like, right now, there's like countless amounts of Jokers in the DC. After the 3 Jokers, we find out that he essentially, the reason why his character changes in every storyline is because it's a new Joker every time. He's creating new ones because he's
kind of like the Venture Brothers, where he clones his kids all the time because they keep dying.
Yes. I wonder if that's where they got it, because I do like it though. I like the fact that he's the Joker's running around creating new versions of himself. And there's this new Batman that I'm just loving called Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. And it's one of we don't know which Joker is which one is the original and which one was the one that got turned mad and turned into a Joker. We just know the two are trying to kill each other, and it's been a fun read.
It's kind of like Demon Bitch and Shitbird. Like, if you put them in a room together, they'll want to kill each other because they're both narcissistic. They're kind of on the same level, so they grind each other's gears because they're constantly like competing for attention. Now, read the comic. She wasn't just a victim most of the time. It was her own violent and hinged Joker, and Harlan was truly a mutually abusive relation. I agree with that because he kind of groomed her, but then again, she kind of bought into it. And again, like general victim shaming. The thing is, what people don't understand in abusive relationships or mutually abusive relationships is that there's certain degrees of victim and abuser. Very rarely is it just a victim and abuser, unless you're talking about a child and an adult, like an adult abusing a child. That's a little bit messed up right there, but that's kind of the dichotomous. But as you get older, it's not as much, although there's definitely victimhood and abusership. But the thing is, what you have to recognize, and not a lot of people on both sides want to admit to, is that in abuse, it's very manipulative. And the thing is, the reason why a person also stays is that they are getting something out of it, which is messed up, but it doesn't mean that they deserve or should have the abuse. It's just, why would you stay in something that doesn't serve you? Well, okay, you seem to be getting something.
Yeah.
Which is why do we get along, right? So it's a very complex thing, and I sound probably oversimplifying abusive relationships, but sometimes like why people stay is that they get some sort of thing out of it. It may be not what we want to us, but it's like a really fucked up rewards and challenges system. It's very Pavlovian in a very perverse fashion. That's the best way I can say it. It's not healthy at all. And I'm not saying, oh, stay, or it's everybody's fault if they stay. It's just, it's a very gradual, fucked up Pavlovian response by a very manipulative individual. That's the best thing. And then sometimes you have two mutually toxic people. Like, you know, I do believe there are people that meet each other that can set the best of each other off. But conversely, you can have where you can be a perfectly nice person and you meet the person that's like the worst person that set, and both of you set each other off in the worst way.
Yeah.
It's both sides.
Which is why I find it creepy when cosplayer girls go hashtag his Harley and they like go with their boyfriends dressed up. I'm like, I don't think you really understand the toxicity of the Harley Quinn Joker relationship. Like, there are some times where they are beating the hell out of each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a healthy relationship by any means. So I always find that, you know, cosplayers doing that, like, kind of creepy. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a very unhealthy relationship. It's like, to a degree, you know, she's saying like, but yet defending yourself and fighting back isn't mutual abuse. And it's like, you're doing stuff to them unprovoked still is. It's also brainwashing. In my case, I stayed out of fear and threat. Yeah, it's a very fucked up Pavlovian response. They're going to use what they're going to use to have you around. And you're going to stay because of those reasons. And it doesn't mean they're great reasons or they're horrible. You know, they can be very horrible. And like when you're younger, like she's saying right here, you know, you have less experience to kind of see the red flags. Yeah. But when they're not married, they set each other off. Yeah. So it's like, you know, you can't, it's like abuse is not a one painted thing. It really isn't.
Right. And I'm not trying to, you know, like cut the, you know, the cosplayer community down, because they make comic conventions fun. They do. Like, I like seeing people dressed up as Batman, as Superman, as these tech droids from various different comics and sci-fi books. But it just, you know, like, I can't help but cringe though when I see the Harley Quinn Joker thing and they think it's romantic. It's like, man, no, we should not be, you know, romanticizing these two characters like that, because they're very very dark and very.
Well, it's supposed to go in the darker aspect. It's Detective Comics, right? What do detectives do? They see the worst of people every day.
Right. Well, I think the sexier thing to do is if like because now it's official, like, you know, Harley Quinn is dating Poison Ivy in the comics, and so like, if anything, I would encourage people to cosplay as that couple, even if you gender swap it, like, you know, make a, you know, do that too. Doesn't matter. But like, because that one's a more healthy relationship. They're not abusive. Like, they're actually, I mean, yeah, they're psychotic villains, but they're not, it's not, you know, they're not stabbing each other or throwing each other off of buildings like Harley Quinn and Joker did, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because it's sort of like how Punchline now is his girlfriend, and they're both like fucking evil on the same level. It's not like, oh, I need somebody to beat up on and just to use as a punching bag. But she also hates men. Pamela Isley, the old school.
Yeah, she does.
She does. When you look at her background, it's like you kind of see why. Like, her dad fucking abandoned her. Her dad just gave her stuff and just never talked to her. And then the professor, who she kind of viewed, I don't think they were ever lovers, but as a father figure, he like fucking used her in every worst way possible, like as a genetic experiment. That's why she hates men. She's like, fuck y'all. You are nothing but you use me all the time. So yeah, that's why. Yeah.
And like I said, they're I mean, there's villains, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were trying to, like, for instance, if you watch the Harley Quinn show, I actually like it because it makes fun of itself, and it also doesn't take the Batman folklore too seriously. And if you're going to, cosplay as that couple, I'd go as that version, the Kelly Kaluko or whatever her name is version of it, and not necessarily the one from the comics, because the one from the comics, man, like, ooh. Those characters get brutal, man. They do. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Both of them get brutal. I do like the fact that how you drew Poison Ivy when the leaf was falling away from her, and the leaf was dying. I wish more artists would do that with the character, like when like the leaves would fall off her body or anything staying away from her would slowly die because she's like the Mother Earth, you know what I mean, type thing. Because that would be a really cool aesthetic story-wise, I think, in a Batman comic, but no one will ever do it, sadly. I don't think, anyway, because I've never seen it. And when you showed me, that you did that, I was like, dude, that is a badass Poison Ivy. I like the way you did it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's one of those deals. Yeah, so now I just have people also hitting me up on my phone. You know how like we both work from our homes and stuff, and we have people like, oh shit, I gotta go have another call, dude. Okay, all right. So like here we are talking our business, and then we're talking this other business, and then it's like, oh, I got business over here. Holy fuck! So
Yeah.
getting that done. Yeah.
Hey, well, it's the entrepreneurial life, right? Like you'll if you get into comics, if you told me, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was really trying to, break into comics and stuff, that when I stopped working for the big companies, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm 100% thankful that I got to ink a few books over at Image Comics. Super thankful, right? Like, for the friends that gave me the hookups to ink their books, so I could say I worked at Image at one point. But working on your own stuff, like, is a lot more rewarding. One, like, us creating this publishing company that we're about to launch soon. I'm more excited about it than, working for these other companies, because these other companies, man, I should have saved some of the notes from some of the editors, because it was confusing, like super confusing. Like they would be super happy with the work, but then tell you that you need to change something small, so then I'd have to go re-ink it because the penciler had to redraw the page, and I was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. After they signed off on the
people are like, oh, digital is like crappy. You don't get to sell the pages. Like if you keep redoing them, the fucking pages, that'll be annoying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do digital art these days. It saves me time and money. Like, don't get me wrong, I love inking a comic book page. I will forever be an inker to this day. I'll ink anyone's stuff. I don't care. I love doing it. But honest to God, and I'm just being honest, I just don't like working with people that are indifferent. That, like, they tell you you're doing good, and then next thing you know, you have to like redo the whole page. Because most people don't know this, but when you get paid your page rate, sometimes you're doing the same piece of artwork 5 different ways, so it could like match what they want their brand to look like, and so to me, like, getting paid $200-300 at that point a page, that makes sense. But if you're an indie person and you're not, and you're doing your own thing, I've noticed, 1, we make a lot more money working for ourselves, and 2, we have a lot more freedom, and creativity is like a lot more potent when you're working for yourself. I've noticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm excited too, because launching this new publishing company, I mean, there's guys like Joshua Murphy, who's never gotten to break into a comic book at all in his life, and we're giving him a chance that at the end of the year he's going to have a published book. He's going to be able to say.
Let's give people the background on Jonathan. What's going on with Jonathan here? What's he doing? What's he done? So you give him like a background, because you told me about him, but I don't think everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the cool thing about Joshua. Joshua is usually a fight choreographer for movies and TV shows, and he runs a kung fu studio.
Wow.
And his dad is the fight choreographer for all of like the Avatar TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it kind of sucks because his dad got screwed over really, really bad by Hollywood. What they did was they hired him to do all the fight choreography, and then didn't pay him, and then said someone else did the fight choreography for the last season that they did. So, which is unfortunate. Like, that does happen a lot in Hollywood. I think he ended up having to take like Nickelodeon to court. I could be wrong, but yeah. And Josh has always wanted to do a comic book, and so, being a fight choreographer for action movies and he has this deep love of comics, and he's just never had the ability to get a comic done because he didn't know where to start. Like, what do I do? Do I, do I hire an artist, then an inker, then, how do I get into Diamond, so on and so forth? And the landscape has changed so much. We're figuring out, launching this publishing company, like, we're going to have to, like, hit the ground running with distributors and figure out which distributors we want to work with so that our guys and girls can get paid properly. But for Josh's sake, man, like, seeing that guy go through all of what he has in his life, being homeless 3 times, his mom abandoning him so that his dad would raise him, like, and then, they break through to Hollywood and make it as fight choreographers, only to get screwed over by the studio that they worked for. This just feels like a nice, here, the universe is giving you something awesome for all your hardship. And it makes my heart, and when you read his story, Hound of God, he's a very creative writer, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it, So when that gets launched, I can't wait to share it, So
yeah, right. So Rosetta says, do you have a channel? Because she said she's got to talk to you. Sounds like we could have fun nerding out.
Yeah. Does Phil have a channel? Yes, this is my channel. Me and Christie tend to be on each other's podcasts every week. It's just her and I are like Batman and Robin. Don't ask me which one's Robin. I have no idea. But it was pointed out to me that we were also like, Howard Stern and Robin. So let's see. Anything else? Oh, okay. No one commented anything else. Okay. And sorry, folks, that I'm broadcasting from my car today. They are doing construction on my house. And if I stayed there to do this show at my house, all you guys would be hearing is sawing and hammering because they're fixing our roof. Finally. So thank God that's happening.
Oh, yeah. What was wrong with the roof, if I may ask?
Okay, so the house is just really fucking old. And we are constantly updating everything. Like, we just updated the electric panel because it had not been updated since 1976. We got a new water heater, and I found out that the water heater that they've had for years and years and years never replaced. It finally went out, so we had to replace it. And it had not been replaced at all in all this time, and they've had the same water heater in that house since 1957, the original, since it was built. And so we've been updating the pipes. We've been updating, and I'm talking like the old clay pipes. We've had to dig those out and put a new sewer line in, and a new sewage tank, because our old sewage tank was just, it was old. It was, one of those clay ones. So we deleted that line and put a new one in. Then we put new toilets in. Then we put new cabinets, new cabinet tops. Then we tore out all the carpet out and put the tile in. Like, that house is, by the time it's all said and done, it's probably gonna be a brand new house. Because now it's the roof they're fixing, and it's new clay tile. So, and we're getting it done before it starts raining again out here, because a leaking roof is not good. And thank God it was only leaking in the garage, but still, eventually leaks like that will spread out to the rest of the house if you don't fix them now. You know.
I
So,
get you on that.
This is why I hate living in a house and not an apartment, because in the apartment, you know, you just call the line and they come fix this stuff for you and you don't have to spend any money. But at the same time, I like living in a house because I get privacy and I don't have my neighbors above me or below me hearing every conversation I've ever had, you know? So it's a trade-off. Oh, man. So what comic books have you been reading a lot lately? As you can tell, I've been reading a lot Batman because I just huge Batman fan.
Would I say that I'm working on Demon Bitch, the new book? So it's like I'm doing material, but at the same time, I'm adding on to other shit. I got to start asking people for like fucking fan art of Demon Bitch right now too. So the thing is that I pick like 6 people to do the fan art. And what I can do to compensate you is to give you a free copy of the book. And I'll sign it, you know, that's what you do. And then just promo the book if you can. And that is a publishing credit on you. That's what I can do right now. And that's only through Horror Studios. That's not through Kumio. Kumio is a different vendor. So this would just be me. And so I'm probably trying to run the Kickstarter probably February, March. We're going to see how that works as well.
Yeah. We're going to be launching Kumio's first book probably around March, February, like she said. And yes, we will, you know, both be sometimes at the Kumio booth during these shows. However, you know, she still has to run Horror Studios and everything. So, you know, she will still represent the publishing, but she'll also run her own stuff with her own company. And Demon Bitch. Demon Bitch is its own thing. We just got a golden opportunity to create Kumio, and we're running with it. And yeah, we're excited. We're very excited, especially since, because to give you a background on how it happened. So I was supposed to go work for a publishing company in Italy, doing a Freddy Krueger comic book. And it turned out they just wanted the licensing from the people that own the license for Freddy Krueger to make their own character. And they didn't inform me. I thought I was going to be working on it. So I said, I'm sorry, I can't work on this because, you know, as a Freddy Krueger fan, I was like super happy that I might be able to get to work on Freddy Krueger. And the lady, she apologized because I told her, I was like, I feel like I kind of got swindled. And she understood. So as a gift, so to speak, for my heartache, we were given some artistic teams that normally work in manga given to us to start a publishing company, because a lot of the artists over in Japan and Indonesia want to break into the American side of stuff, because over there they're getting paid like crap. Like they're getting paid like 10 cents a book sale. They were getting paid. I mean, like the sales figures that their contracts were on were just bad. So I understand why they want to come over here to make more money for their families. And so I took them on. I approached Christy with the idea. She loved it. And yeah, we're going to, hopefully it goes well. Hopefully their books sell and they do good. And in the meantime, we help that, new writers like Josh get plugged in with these teams to get published. And one idea that we were thinking about doing later on in the following year is probably doing like, writing competitions for people that have never been published. And you know what I mean? That would be cool. Because I'm a firm believer of really helping out the comic book community, that that if you're creative and you want to make it in this industry, I am 100% down to help you out. Because Christy and I both had mentors that or friends that helped us learn this business for free. And sadly, there's some people out there now that they will teach you about the comic book business if you pay them. And I don't think that's fair. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a dark thing to do. There's so many people that do that too. Or they'll broker deals so that they get paid even though the project never goes forward. I've seen that happen a lot too.
Yeah, it's like
Which
I
is
spent all this
heartbreaking.
fucking time. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and it's not good, you know. So, you know, we're gonna run this company as open, honest, and you know, help as many people as we can along the process. Hopefully, it does well. Who knows?
Right.
But you know, you never know if you don't try. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, right.
So, oh man, let's see. Comments. 31 comments. This cheap ass Chromebook copy paste sucks like a 2-cent hooker on crack on her porn. Like,
Which is cute. Yeah. I actually know a couple people that do resemble that remark. Some people are like, "That's not nice."
man.
Like, fuck you. That's what it is. As Frank
That's-
Zappa said, like, well, isn't that horrible that you said that? I said, no, it exists.
Oh man, whoever Eagle Writer is, you just made my day. You made me laugh, dude.
Yeah, that's her. That she's real cool. She's asked me to be on her channel a few times. Like, I'm like, oh damn it, I'm like out and about doing errands. But she's really cool. She's like, she said, oh, just be on my thing and everything. So.
Yeah, no, it's fun, man. Like, I like being on these shows with you and talking comics, and then you know sometimes you draw. Like, one of these times when you do your draw stream, I'll set up my spray paint table and I'll spray paint art as you draw, so we can kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm trying to learn how to do spray paint art into like figures, like Batman and stuff, because I've finally mastered planets. I finally mastered like galaxies and stuff. But the thing I have not mastered yet is people. And so that's the next phase, is learning how to do that. And I've been loving doing it, because I've seen this one guy who does really good Superman spray paint, you know, images, and I've been studying his. So that's what I'm gonna start doing next, is just see how he does his Superman spray paints and just mimic it, you know, until I get it perfect. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I don't know. It's funny too, because like my dad, he finally you know, he called me the other day and he was like, he's like, man, you are the luckiest son of a bitch I've ever met. And I was like, how so, Dad? He's like, you wanted to draw comic books ever since you were a kid, and now you're drawing comic books and paying your bills with it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you can say that.
Right.
You know, not many people get that, you know, and I don't ever take it for granted, for sure. You know. Oh,
yeah,
man.
for me, it's just like how I'm juggling so many hats. I'm like, how the fuck do I do all this shit? Sometimes I'm like, I don't have anything left in me. I'm sorry. I got to go work on Sepulchre, the second book. At least with Demon Bitch, I've been working on the book the whole year, so I can actually get that done. But I want to get like fucking I want to get that fucking shit going on, like with Sepulchre, because that's a really cool book. I just haven't felt like sitting down and drawing on the.
Yeah, I really liked it, man. When we hung out last time and I got a copy from you, like, I really loved it, man. Like, I like the way it's set up. I like the character. I like what you did with it. I like the hint of red and you know, in certain scenes and no other color. Like, Sepulchre is like a badass book, man.
Yeah,
you know,
it's about trauma, and it's about like, you know, the thing is she doesn't have a voice anymore. And because I remember women were going like, oh, women don't have a voice, they're disempowered. And I'm like, well, I tend to fuck up that situation because I drew this whole thing and she just was a killer. I'm just trying to get the killing scenes down. That bothers me. That's what I got to get that going on.
No, I get you, man. I get you. Like, it's I don't know. I one of the things that I like about Sepulchre is the fact that the character has her like her throat slit, and because she can't talk, she communicates in other ways, and you're communicating it through the art. And not many people have that talent, just to tell a story without words. Like, many people, you know, there's a lot of comic artists that can't do that, sadly, and which I find weird. Like, their art is very stock, and yet you are creating a character that can't talk is still telling an amazing story without having to let her what she's feeling. Like, you know what she's feeling, you know what she's doing. I hate to say it, but Tom King's artist, when he was working on Batman, like, if you were to take the lettering off of Tom King's books, I mean, the artist that he works with, like, I wouldn't know what's going on, because it's the paneling's off. And I'm not saying Tom King's a bad writer. It's just, it doesn't flow that way. And that's one thing I love about Sepulchre. Like, it does, and it's fantastic. 100%. Oh. Whew. It is hot where I'm at. Holy crap. I didn't expect it to get this warm out here.
It's overcast where I'm at, but it's still kind of cold. I haven't been out in like a few days because it was storming over here. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go outside. I'm like, I don't want to fucking go outside. Fuck this shit.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Going outside sucks, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah. What was the other piece of news that we wanted to cover? Oh, that's right. So, coming up around Cartoonapalooza, when is that? That's during the summer, correct?
Let's see. Next year, this is what I've read, and I think it's going to be 2 days actually now.
Oh, okay, good.
So it's 9/15 to 9/16.
9/15 to 9/16. Okay, and it's going to be in Temecula, right?
Yeah, it looks like to be the same area. We'll see, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it went well last year, man. How much? How well did it do for you? Like, it looked like it was hella busy.
Well, it was a few hours the first night, and I made some money. That was actually not bad. I mean, for 3 or 4 hours, that's fine. But then the next day, it was like pretty good. It was a nice thing for a first time show. And Tony's real nice. That's the name of the guy that did that. So
yeah. I'm kind of interested in what's going to happen. When we officially drop Kumio, like, how well the books are going to do. I mean, the artists are looking good, man. Their shit is looking amazing.
Yeah, show me some more of their shit, because you showed me some preliminaries, but I want to take a look at the progress too.
Yeah. When they send me, when they actually email, because when I FaceTimed him at midnight, because he's in Japan, the one team, they were showing me all the pages they haven't scanned in yet. But yeah, each team is like, I didn't know this, but each team is like 4 people. That's why they're able to do like 40 pages in 22 days, which is nuts. But when you've got like 4 people working on the same page, I see why they do it like a factory. This person will do the layout. This person will ink it. This person will then put in the speech bubbles. It's like quick. And normally I don't care for manga art, not to rip anyone on it. It's just not my favorite style, but I can understand why they draw it that way. Like when they showed me when you draw a manga, it's easier to draw the characters. It's faster. And not only that, when I was talking to Bukai about it, that's the gentleman's name that's running the one book. He's like, the reason why he got into manga instead of American comics is he can cheat when it comes to a blonde character, because he doesn't have to ink in their hair. He can just leave it white, and in manga, it's little things like that he likes. He calls it lazy art.
Right? Manga is disposable art like comics used to be before collecting. Yeah, well, now it's not anymore.
No, this is what I'm saying is like back in the day we didn't collect comic books. We bought them, we read them, we gave them to our friends. They got all fucked up, hold it in our back pocket and shit. We didn't collect them and slab them, right? Okay, that's what manga is. They don't collect manga. They buy it, they read it, they give it to their buddy. He reads it, he gives it to somebody else. It's disposable. It's not collectible.
Well, I've also heard that the whole slabbing thing is kind of a weird thing too. Like I've been hearing threads that it might be kind of just more of a fad, because they actually said the process of slabbing them actually hurts them more. I've heard also.
It's a fad that took it. Look, it was a scam that took off a long time ago. It started.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they would also deliberately low rate the other people that didn't slab their comics so that they could sell them at a higher price.
That's what I'm saying. They made it collect. They said if we wrap ours in plastic, it's worth more than yours, even if it's exactly the same. Ours is worth more than yours because we wrapped it in plastic.
Yeah, they would like deliberately like not raise them high.
Yeah. It was a scam designed to suck people into slabbing their books, to slabbing their baseball cards, to taking it away from being a disposable medium that we shared with each other. And now it's I gotta have mine. I got to have mine wrapped up in plastic, so it's better than yours. And really, it's not. Not only that, you have 1,000 people grading comic books across the nation for all these different companies, and there's no two people that see every flaw exactly the same. So how does that work?
Yeah, that's true. And it's heartbreaking to see that comic books used to be the blue collar crowd, like cheap form entertainment. Like you would buy, and like you said, stick in your back pocket, give it to friends, and all that. And like, hey, we're broke. Well, we got $3. Well, let's go down to the comic shop and get a new comic then. And then we, swap all of the stuff. And now
$3 bought you a lot of comics, bro.
yeah, dude. Back in the day, I would shop in the dollar bins, man. Straight up. I would shop in the dollar bins. I would
with dollar bins when I was a kid, bro. We had 20-cent comics, 10, 15, 20. We watched them go up 30, 35, 50, right? But we didn't have comic book stores with dollar bins where you could go buy back issues. If you couldn't find it in the spinner rack, you were screwed unless you bought it through the Marvel Direct ads like that were in the comics where you could go buy the back issues. That was the only way to get them.
Oh, you know what I'm finding entertaining now that Christy and I are opening up our own publishing company. I've been talking to the comic shops out here, and finding out that like it's basically going the distribution channels have changed back to the 70s, the 60s, and the 50s, where it's no longer just Diamond. Like Diamond had a monopoly for like how many years on distribution? Like if you owned a comic book store, you had to have a Diamond Direct in order. And now it's like 4 different distribution companies because Marvel's got its own, DC launched its own, and now Dark Horse is going to go into DC's distribution channel.
There's way more than that. There's way more than that. There's Adam Watson's doing comics mainstream. And he's actually putting spinner racks in like dispensaries and stuff like that, and putting comics in weed dispensaries all up in Northern California and down the coast, everywhere you can. That kind of stuff it's popping up everywhere. We want that because look, Diamond's the one that made DC and Marvel say pencils down 3 years ago. Diamond's the one that shut this industry down. Are you going to allow somebody else to decide when you can distribute your product? Are you going to let a third party decide that you have to take a forced vacation? No, you guys need your own websites. You need to publish them. You need to make people like me, let people like me know. Okay, I can promote your book anywhere. It doesn't have to be on a crowdfunding page. It doesn't have to be through Diamond. It doesn't have to be through anybody but yourself. I can promote you no matter where you're at.
Amen. Yeah, and it's crazy because like Diamond was also the reason why like when they did those exclusive deals with Marvel and DC, like I see why Marvel and DC kind of screwed the lower guy. Because before Diamond used to be, and I was talking to the comic shop owner out here, and he was telling me before Marvel and DC signed with Diamond, when they did, they said they upped their buy rate. Like you had to have, in order to be distributed, it used to be 500 copies, but when Marvel and DC joined Diamond, they made sure it was like you had to have 5,000 copies or something like that, and so it squeezed a lot of smaller guys out.
It made it hard on the stores. You got to buy this many copies in order to get the variant. And then what if they don't sell? Okay, this is what makes me mad. DC will tell everybody we sold this many comics because Diamond forced all these comic book stores to buy this many books. That doesn't mean they went out the door. That doesn't mean fans bought those many comics. That means DC and Diamond forced comic book stores to pre-order that many comics, and that's not selling them to fans. So the numbers have never been true. The numbers have never, ever been true. Nobody knows how many comics actually go out the door of all these comic stores and can say, this is how many books you actually sold of this type. Okay? Because, you know, they force you to buy 100 copies of this to get one variant, or 200 or 500 or 1,000 to get one variant cover. Right?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, it's like Diamonds, look, they all screwed the pooch on this industry, okay? Manga's taking advantage of it because there's no collectible value. There's none of that. It's just, here's your stuff, buy it and read it. Just like you would a novel off the shelf at the bookstore. It's not a collectible. You don't slab it. You freaking read it.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and I'll get out of here, but I just wanted to throw that in. And
no, you're good. No, it's true though. Like so you're seeing why it was a smart business decision for me and Christie to step forward. Like when this opportunity was given to us, we were like, yeah, we'll do it because, you know, like there's more people are willing to, you know, buy a manga comic right now more than an American comic because of that very reason. Like they can pick it up, they can read it, and then they know, you know, and I was telling, you know, Christy, like I walked into Barnes & Noble and a manga is like $12. Why? Because it's on cheap paper, it's not colored, and you get like 40 to 60 pages of story for $12. But then you go over to the Marvel DC side or the Image, and they're selling, you know, a 30-page graphic novel for $20. Like, so I could see why they're doing it. You know what I mean? And what's even crazier is Marvel and DC started getting into the manga game, but then they stopped. Like they abruptly stopped, which makes no sense. I thought the idea of having a business was to make money.
Marvel and DC's comic divisions are tax write-offs. They're promotion for the movies. That's all they are. They don't care how many they sell. They could give a shit. It's a tax write-off. We lose money on comics so we can write it off. We make money on the movies if we don't piss everybody off.
Oh man.
I heard about the comics a long time ago. That's been the tax write-off division of Marvel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true. Like, yeah, I don't know. My goal this year is to get as many people, you know, broke into comics, you know, and give them a chance. Because I've noticed, like, a lot of the doors that I got in when I first got into comics, you know, like I said, when I worked at Image, like, a lot of those doors are closing up because a lot of people are leaving those companies that I would have, you know, if I wanted to work over at Image. The friend that I went through now works for some advertising company. He got completely out of comics.
Where the money is, man. You got to go where
it's true. It's true.
I'm gonna get out the way. You guys go ahead and close this one down, and I'll meet you in that other studio in a minute.
Yeah, right. Oh, by the way, I've got this too. It's I have a signing next week on the 18th. So if you guys want to see me, but we'll have a recorded episode up, which I'm trying to download, but I'm having nerd rage right now because it's being a bitch. So
I was gonna say, if you want to bring Phil along and make him be your cameraman, you could do that signing live.
Oh, Phil lives like 3 hours away from me. I don't know if he'll be able to. That might be.
I can't. I mean, because it's going to be at the Comic Bug, right?
It's going to be at the Comic Bug, yeah, in Manhattan. There's 2 locations. I'll be at the Culver City and the Manhattan Beach.
Okay, so the Comic Bug is what? That's what, 2 hours away from me last time?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you want, I'll try to come down there to the Comic Bug and videotape, because this is just you, or is this the Asian invasion thing?
Oh, it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, she could do live signing lunch hour from And then we give the store a little promotion. We get to, just like when Paul did his launch, wants to do his launch party at a comic book store. That way we get to promote the comic book stores too. Hey, if your comic store is promoting indie comics, I will promote them. Just like
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and put this up here and give you guys, like, I'll upload it onto this thing, but yeah, that's what's happening right here. Hold on.
All right, everybody, we'll be back in about 5 minutes on Christie's show, The Lunch
Yes.
Hour.
All right. Talk to you then, guys. All right.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Why is this being a bitch?
You want me to end it and you just go jump over there?
Yeah. I'm just trying to
I got you.
export this
Go ahead.
because this is being a bitch. Hold on.
Go ahead.
All right. Let me go jump off.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.